Welcome to our Fiery Embers show on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. This live show is not one that is going to bring you the latest tips on how to increase your VO2 max, but it will make you laugh. It will make you think. You will have a good time. And by the way, those are all cardio benefits anyway. So stick around. Get to learn more about our guests outside the world of swim, bike, and run. Today, I'm being joined by Brick Marlin, and I cannot wait to talk to him today because we're going to be talking about the Trail Running Film Fest, which many of you may know is a series of films that has toured the country, basically. And I was introduced to them by Adam Lee of Community Trail Running, my co-host at Food Fight Friday at the Aid Station, as well as Matthias Eichler, who is going to be a guest on that same show, and have really gotten to know those two guys and have really appreciated the work that they're doing for the Trail Running Film Fest, which was, by the way, started by Matthias. So I'm really excited to talk to Brick about these films. There are 6 of them that we watched over the last week or so. So we'll get into conversations about what we loved about them, ones that we thought were more inspiring to us, and what we found interesting about those. But before I bring him on, check out the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. Yesterday, July 1st, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary. I'm super proud of that. We have a variety of shows on that network, which means we have something for everyone, from music and food to human interest stories of everyday athletes overcoming obstacles to reach their finish lines. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and if you're using Spotify, comment. And if you're on YouTube, also comment, so that we continue to bring great guests onto the show so we can get more exposure to the stories that we love sharing and being able to engage with the everyday athlete that is out there chasing their dreams and their goals. So without any more rambling from me, let's bring Brick onto the show and talk about the Trail Running Film Fest. Hey, Brick, how are you, man?
Pretty good. Doing really well. Yeah, doing really well, man. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you joining this episode of Fiery Embers, but more importantly, I really appreciate the support that you have shown to myself and the Run Try Bike community since we've been able to engage with each other in conversation on various platforms.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. So yeah,
Awesome.
listen to your show and stuff.
So I know you're based out of Louisville, and you are an author, which is pretty damn cool, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give me a little bit of background on your running history, and then we'll dive into these films.
Okay. Well, my running history, I felt like I'm small potatoes, but I did complete, my longest I've completed is a half marathon on trails, and that was this year. And
Awesome.
there's been a couple of years that I DNF'd because of stomach issues and stuff like that, and my hydration being wrong, but I finally dialed everything in. So, but I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. I still, bike, and I do swim and stuff like that. I've done a few triathlons. Yeah. So
Awesome. I will tell anybody who will listen that if you do these things for any period of time, a DNF is going to be part of your resume.
Yes.
Just understand that that's going to happen. We are not robots. All kinds of things happen.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But
so I want to dive into the 6 films that we got to watch from the Trail Running Film Festival. Each one of them different from the other, but all with the same nexus of overcoming and working your way towards a goal through trail and ultra running. The first one we'll talk about is the one Callie Vincent's film called Elite Heart. I had the pleasure of actually co-moderating a preview of this film before it hit the Trail Running Film Fest. I was a part of a Rising Hearts and Goo Energy Labs promo of the film, and it was awesome to be able to see somebody that I've interviewed a number of times and have exchanged conversation with in Cali a number of times. So I will hide my thoughts on the film, but I will ask you first, in that movie that you got to watch, was there one thing or a couple of things that struck you and were relatable to you?
Goodness. Yeah. It's just that I believe, just to go out and do that, and, being very inspiring to do it. I mean, with other films, of course. But it, with what she did and stuff like that, I mean, she did push herself and push herself, and forgive me, that was the race that she did not finish. Is
That was
that
the
the
Western
one?
States
Yes.
event. Yeah.
But but I mean, she did above and beyond. That what reached out to me is just that she was she did above and beyond than what I could do, I believe, but I mean, that's my thoughts on that one, you know.
One of the things that I found interesting, and again, I have known Callie for some time. I've met her
Yes.
in person as well. Is I know her backstory
Okay.
of you know losing weight, being a
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
positive
Right.
role
Right.
model for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the thing that caught me was this idea of
Yeah.
like going from somebody who didn't think they could do it to going on the journey for
Yes.
at Western States, which is the oldest 100 miler in the country, and that connection as a single person, right?
Yeah.
Like that, her person that she was X number of years ago to where she is today,
Yeah.
and the growth that happens along the way, I just found phenomenal in the way that she told the story, the way they edited the movie to bring you back to those moments.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. All I mean, everything that, I mean, it was so tough to do that. I mean, that's the Western States. I mean, I can't remember what I first heard about it, but I did read a little bit of, I'm going to say his name wrong. Dean Carnazzi, I
Yeah,
guess it was.
Carnassus.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And he was, he would talk about were his levels, and he went up to that. And I couldn't, that's just incredible. But I mean, with what she did and stuff like that, yeah. But like you said, with her, her weight loss and stuff like that, and going forward, but it was pretty remarkable. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
took from it.
Yeah, and it was kind of
It's just,
cool how to see the reflection about her mother being her biggest cheerleaders
oh
while
yeah, yeah,
simultaneously
that's right.
having her big cheerleaders there,
Mhm.
and rooting for her and
Yeah.
cheering for her to get not just to
Hmm.
the start line, but eventually the finish line, and yet still support her and not think less of her when she DNF'd. I thought to me that was the
Yeah.
message.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
The next film, so we're gonna go in order of
Okay.
how I watch them.
Okay.
The next film was the Point Pessie that I watched,
Okay.
which is the film taking on the FKT in the Dolomites,
Yeah.
and it had captions, right?
Mhm.
They were speaking French throughout the
Yes.
movie, and
Yeah.
and for me, it's so interesting. It was hard for me to watch the film because I wanted to see the scenes without having to read the words, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was a moment in there where um, she said, "Do you want to do what everybody else wants you to do?" or something to that effect.
Right.
Because
Right.
the idea was you're taking on an FKT challenge at
Mhm.
this mountain versus doing it at
Right.
this other mountain that everybody else is doing.
Mhm.
And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
we're all on our own journeys, and if we're just copycatting what somebody else is doing, are we really on our own journey in that moment? Um,
Right.
and so
Right.
I'd love to get your thoughts of the film with the closed captions on it, with the
Yes.
scenery. Like, what were your thoughts on how the film was presented to us as an audience?
Oh, it was presented very well. I mean, the scenery is fantastic and stuff. It really was, and even what she did. And I mean, the endurance of what she did with that. That's pretty remarkable. But I mean, but I mean, she did the now. Her time was her time better than the previous person that did that? Was that
She
what?
did, yes, she did
Yes.
set the
Yeah.
record.
Yeah. And that's that's just outstanding. That because I mean, I root a lot, for the I mean, for especially the female athletes like that. Even from the first movie, I really root for them because I mean, it's incredible that those ladies have done that. And but yeah, that's what I thought of the second film. I mean, because I think everything that was presented, I really enjoyed it, even the captions, and that's fine because I'm never really, watched a whole lot of films with captions and stuff like that. But I mean, they really did a great job with that. Yeah, really did. Yeah.
I would love to have been in a theater when people
Oh,
were
yeah,
viewing the
yeah.
movie because, again, most of us in America are not watching films with captions. We're not watching foreign content.
Right. That's true.
And
That's
and
true.
so it would
Yeah.
be interesting to have seen what the audience's take on it was, because I will tell you, my first reaction was, I don't wanna read the film. Like, I want to be able to watch the scenery unfold
Yeah.
and hear the voiceover so that I can get a feel for it. Now I'm going up and down and
Yeah.
I'm missing pieces.
Mhm.
Um, which is why when that statement was made of, I'm going to go chase my own dreams and goals versus
Mhm.
doing what everybody else is doing,
Right. Right.
the world has a way of telling you this is important. Pay
Yeah.
attention, right? And I needed it. I needed that comment in that moment for
Yeah.
me to be able
Yeah.
to read it on the screen
Mhm.
and connect with me, which made that film special to me in that moment.
Oh yeah. 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 Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
You're an author, so let me ask you
Mhm.
this:
Mhm.
in that scenario where she's talking about chasing her own dreams and goals,
Yeah.
as an author, when you're writing a book, is
Mhm.
it difficult to not fall into the trap of writing the way somebody else is writing or following a plot line the way they've written it? Like, is it difficult for you to do that?
It is because you want to be yourself and stuff like that, and do what do what you can and what you want to do. I mean, because trying to follow, there's, I try not to be so cliche and stuff, and not just to please others, but I mean, I am writing hopefully for readers, but I also write for myself and try to do what I want to do, and try to expand on the ideas that I throw down. You know, but yeah, it's that's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
interesting for me
yeah.
because the path already taken is an
Mm.
easier path to follow versus the
It
path that you're
is.
paving.
It is. And because there's so, even with writing, it's just, there's a lot of, has been so many great writers through the years. And it's just trying to fall in that trap of not trying to write like somebody else and stuff like that. And just like with being like her and stuff like that, is trying to be different,
Yeah.
So I think that's the way to go, you know. Definitely the way to go. So to be
Oh,
yourself, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And look, she took a risk and bet on herself, and she came out
Yeah.
victorious.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. 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 Very much so. Yeah.
And it's interesting, in the world of ultras, I do wonder if she had bet on herself and missed the mark, where would the audience fall into the 2 camps? "Oh, you should have just done the thing that everybody else is doing and had a better chance at success," or "Good for you
Right.
for trying and taking a risk."
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how the audience would fall because everybody's different.
Yeah.
What they're thinking and stuff. I just believe they would be. I don't know. I think they would root for her, so much to finish it and stuff like that, and just not, just do what she did and she does and follow her dream,
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
DNF or don't DNF, like I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you do this stuff for any period of time, you're going to have that, and so if
Yeah.
she missed the FKT in that scenario, lesson learned, what went right, what went wrong,
Right. 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 Right.
keep what went right and improve on what went wrong. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Progress.
Exactly. Right. Right. True. Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree with you there. Yeah. Fully
The
agree.
next the next film I watched was Our Terrain, which
Okay.
was the film that was set in St. Louis,
Yep.
where they're running a 100 miler,
Yep.
and a tornado. Of all the things that could possibly happen during an ultra,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
that tornado would ever have been on my list of possibilities.
Yeah.
Um,
No. Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Wow.
I've run in plenty of downpours and
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
rain and
Yeah.
cold, but a
Yeah.
tornado is not one of them. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who didn't see the film, about halfway through the event, I'm gonna guess if I remember correctly, a tornado warning was issued in the St. Louis area, and they stopped the event. And the race director decided to restart the event after some time when the weather had cleared up, but was not extending the cutoff time because permits with parks and volunteers, and her goal was to make sure that athlete safety was paramount. And so, if she couldn't have aid station volunteers, she didn't want to risk the athletes' safety in that scenario. So let me ask you this, Brick. If you're running
Yes.
a 100-miler, you've trained
Yeah.
for months on end, maybe even a year,
Mhm.
and a tornado comes sweeping through the area and they put a pause on the event for a few hours, how do you think you would have reacted to the RD saying, "Okay, we're going to open this up again and you're able to run"? Do you think you'd be of the mindset to say to yourself, "I can definitely go run and finish and see what I have," or do you think you would have been, this has been a long day already to go out and run, and try to finish this is just not in the cards. And again, it's hard to tell because you're not in the predicament, but what do you
Well,
think your gut
exactly.
reaction would tell you?
Exactly. I mean, my first thought, I would try it. I would try to finish the race. That's just me. Because I mean, if I'm going out for something, I want to finish it. Um, that's that would be my that would be me. Because I would like, well, there's some hours in between, and I know, I've heard, I mean, you're already, I can't say you're totally rested up because I've never, ran that far, but those few hours and stuff like that, and your body's still, I would imagine the athletes are still, wired and ready to go again. Even though I know in the film there are a lot of them did not, go ahead and they just called it, and there was just that fraction of went out, and I thought that was amazing,
Yeah.
but I think for me, I would go ahead and try to do that, try to finish it out, and I might have taken a DNF after the next
Yeah.
few miles, but I would have tried just to finish it. Because like you said, train for it, got ready for it, stuff like that, and if my body was still feeling good to that extent, I would try to do it. Yeah, because that was one film that I thought was really, really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah,
One of the things I appreciated about that
yeah,
film was the number of decisions an
yeah.
athlete has to make over the course of 100 miles. And whether you're finishing
Right,
it in
right.
20 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, you're constantly making decisions. And here's one you weren't prepared to make. There's no doubt that a single person would be prepared to make a decision on
Oh yeah,
restarting an event after a tornado.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah,
right?
exactly.
Course is going to be a mess from all the
Oh yeah,
rain that happened.
I saw that in
Um,
that. Yeah,
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 and you have to choose, do I go forward? Do I not go forward in this scenario? So
yeah.
I love the idea that the filmmakers captured
Mhm. Oh yeah,
in it's
yeah,
called Our Terrain, of the varying decisions that
yeah.
ultra runners are making over the course of
Oh yeah.
a full day out there. It
Mhm.
really is just so much decision making.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How When they showed Chuck finishing at the end, what were
Yeah.
your face says it all right there.
Yeah. I thought that was, oh my gosh. And that was his birthday, right?
Yeah.
That was,
Yep.
yes. I was like, wow. And he didn't
And
even realize it, that he was number one at
yep.
for a while, I think, Oh my gosh. That made me feel really good right there,
The
really,
the
really good.
tears rolling down his face, I was
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah, yeah.
wow."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing, I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm 51 years old. I'll be
Okay.
52 at
Yeah.
the end of this year,
Mhm.
and seeing a 60-year-old, you know,
I
I
know. I
I
know.
he won the event, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
kudos to Chuck, but again, he had to decide, "Do I want to go back out and finish this race?" After
Yeah.
hours of sitting around waiting for weather to pass.
I know. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
will be like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
too old for this, you're too old for that at 60 years old." And I just looked and
Yeah.
was like, "No, I'm not."
Exactly. Because I mean, I'm not far from you. I'm a little older than you. I'm sorry. I'll be 56 this year,
Okay.
And so when especially like him being 60, and I see other athletes that are older and they are doing it,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man, I'm like, that's where I want to be, at that age. I want to say I want to do that. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's just it's something else. Yeah, I
And
really
then
enjoyed that.
the last part of that film before we move on to the next one that I really
Yeah.
loved was the camaraderie
Oh yeah.
amongst the
Yeah.
athletes, the volunteers, and the race director.
Yeah.
In that movie, there's a scene where Chuck comes into an aid station
Yeah.
and they tell him, "Hey, the first place athlete is right in front of you." And so Chuck, gets his aid station
Yeah.
stuff and
Yeah. Yeah.
moves and runs past the guy in first place.
Mhm.
And when they finish, you see Chuck and he has tears in his eyes. And then the second place athlete finishes, and I think it's about
Mhm.
15 minutes behind him, something in that vicinity. And there is just this component of togetherness and joy that they share with each other, as opposed to like an uber competitive spirit. Like, I can't believe this
Yeah.
old man at 60 years old passed me, right? And I
Yeah.
just thought that
Yeah.
was awesome and a great
Oh yeah.
decision from the filmmakers.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree with you. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was something else.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear your thoughts on the next one, because
Okay.
I know you have a dog. So
Yes. Oh. Yeah, a little kitty back here too.
the film is called Talk to Frank,
Yeah, that
and
was nice. Yeah.
it caught me off guard at first
Yeah.
because I
Right. Right.
thought that the main character of the film was the human until about 30 or 45 seconds into it, and
Yeah.
I realized it's from the point of view of the dog.
Yeah. I was the same way because I wasn't sure either. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I think that was, yeah. I really enjoyed it. I know it was a very short one, but I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that, because it's that was funny.
Do you
Yeah.
think you enjoyed the film
Yeah.
because of the humorous angle that it took to
Yes, I did.
showcase the struggles and the obstacles, as opposed to
Yes.
the dun 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 struggles and obstacles?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because because I've grown up with dogs. I love dogs and this old kitty, and it's just like um, they're just such great companions. Oh my gosh, and for it's like that little one, his dog, is so great for them to taking the narration of the dog talking and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, I did. I was doing. I'm paraphrasing, but he's doing this and I'm doing this with him. And I'm like, that's neat. And like, he's doing all this stuff with him. I'm like, this is cool.
It
I
was
really
really
enjoyed that.
cool. Yeah, I love the line when he's like, when the dog says, "Oh, there he is snapping again with his mouth open,"
I remember that. Yeah. That's
I just
good.
it was such a great angle for that film,
Mhm.
to show
Oh
again, it
yeah.
showcases the highs and lows
Yes.
of being a runner on the
Yes.
trails,
Absolutely.
but from an angle that is humorous as opposed to a serious angle, and I thought it was super refreshing.
Oh yeah. I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
was
have
neat.
I'll have to talk to Matthias and figure out how he and I presume a group of people are picking these films,
Right.
to
Right.
showcase, because these first four were super good and the last two were excellent too, and we'll get into them in a minute.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
depending on the number of submissions, it's gotta be so difficult to try to whittle it down to
Yeah.
5 or 6 films, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I did not even think about that. I bet it would be hard, because yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Here's the other thing before we get into the next two, I'd love
Okay.
to get your thoughts on.
Okay.
Um, there are some things in this world that can be overproduced, and there are some things in this world that can be underproduced, and then there's, content that gets it right in the middle of the two.
Mhm.
The thing that I found about every one of these films is they didn't feel overproduced. They did not
Right,
feel like overly cinematic.
right, right.
In some instances, it was
Yeah.
clearly somebody using their iPhone or their GoPro to film.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
and I think it made it more humanizing in that sense. What do you think?
I believe you on it. Yeah, I do because it captured it just captured humanity. I mean, it captured the human. What I mean the athlete. Sorry, um, but yeah, I thought so too. I agree with you totally on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've not seen a road running film, but
Oh yeah,
I wonder if the idea of doing a trail or an ultra film, because of the definition, the stereotypical definition of trail and ultra is grit and nothing's perfect and
right,
you're
right, right,
playing in
right.
the dirt and the sand and the mud, lends to this idea that the production of it is going to be um, more of
Hmm.
the stuff that we saw,
Hmm.
whereas maybe a road running film might be a little bit more produced, because you also
Yeah,
might have opportunity to set up cameras and different things
yeah,
like that
yeah,
where you
yeah, yeah,
might not on the trail.
right,
Um,
right.
I wonder if that would be a different. What do you think?
I don't know. It might be a little different, because I don't think I've ever watched one that's road, because it's the only thing I've watched before is just, trails and some road and stuff like that. I think but I can't remember the one that I'd watched. I know that was overseas that I'd watched. And, but as far as only on the road, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be different. Yeah, sure.
So we're gonna get into the next one called "We Are Here, We Run Long," and um, full disclosure, I know Rebecca, I know Kelsey, I know Alicia, that were three of the four main people
Oh, wow.
depicted in this
Yeah.
film. And I also know Coach Croft, who is also in this film. And Coach Croft, Becky is her name, is who I um, met and got introduced to the other three
Mhm.
women. So I have a biased opinion of this one. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's all
that
right.
being
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
it really hit home for me. I watched it last night, and immediately after watching it, I sent a message to Becky, Rebecca, Kelsey, and Alicia that it made me cry,
Yeah.
for a number of different reasons. One is the personal connection I have to the four of those women,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think more so than that, it was the um, idea of inclusivity in these sports and the people that were the participants, the athletes, just being so happy to be included
Oh
at
yeah.
that
Yeah.
30K. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That really hit me right in the heart.
Yeah. Because that was because it's just that they hung together and stuff like that, and that's says a lot,
Yeah.
I think, with because, just I think I don't know. It's like it just kind of reflected. I hopefully I'm right about this. Reflected, with with the trail running community and stuff like that, and people that run and stuff, and they seem to, I don't know, it's just a different atmosphere, and stuff, and that's what it just reminded me of that, just because they just seem like they take care of their own and stuff like that, and because I mean, and I'm not taking away from road racing whatsoever. I think it's cool, I'm kind of I like trails so much, and I
Yeah.
just, with the group part of it and stuff, and what those ladies did and stuff like that. I mean, they just lifted themselves up. Each of them did and stuff like that. I mean, that's huge, you know. So yeah,
Yeah. Their ability to connect on the human level is
yeah,
really the thing that touched me in that
yeah,
film. And
yeah,
the beauty, so here's the thing, right? So a couple of the films were 30 plus minutes.
yeah,
um Talk to Frank was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The We Are Here, We Run Long was only 8 minutes. And yet they still packed so much emotion into 8 minutes. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
got me.
Yeah. 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 That's a lot. I mean, for that short amount of time. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to know um, each of the participants from Rebecca and Kelsey and
Yeah.
Alicia and
Yeah.
Ioka. You got to get to a feel for who they were, and then to see the athletes reacting to them in the
Yeah.
film
Yeah. Hmm.
was just so well done. Like really, really well done. And I'm
Oh yeah.
thrilled
Absolutely. Absolutely.
for the camp we run long, and I know they're going to be putting it on again this year. So I'm
Oh
stoked for it.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
neat.
pretty cool.
Yeah. That is very cool. Yeah.
And
Very
then the
cool.
last film focuses on Candace Burt. It was called Halfway to Crazy. She was trying to set the FKT on the Arizona
Yeah.
Trail, which is an 800-mile run from southern Arizona to northern Arizona.
Hmm.
And Candace went into this with a foot issue, which we learn more about as she goes through the process. And so I'll ask you
Yes.
your feelings on the film. Like, did you know about the story before you saw the film?
No, I didn't. Did not know that. No. No.
So when you first started watching it and they kind of gave you that future look in by talking about her foot injury and the things that were
Yeah.
happening with her foot, were you of the mindset, especially with the title Halfway to Crazy, were
Yeah.
you of the mindset like, I don't think she's going to finish, or were you like, I have no idea what's going to happen here?
And I didn't know what was going to happen, to be honest with
Okay.
you. Yeah, I really didn't, because that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot before going into something like that.
Yeah.
To have that foot issue and stuff like that. Yeah, I wasn't really prepared. I wasn't sure. So, to be honest with you, yeah.
So when Candace decides to end her pursuit of the FKT on the Arizona Trail, how did you react to the way the story was being told?
Oh, the story was told very well. I mean, it really was. I mean, I love the film, that's for sure. But it was crushing to me that she did not finish that. It really was. Um, I mean, it was, of course, incredible that she got to that point. But man, yeah. Um, but yeah, it was something. So yeah,
Yeah, for me, I don't recall the story, even though I had known that Candace was chasing that
yeah,
800-mile
yeah,
FKT. I couldn't
yeah,
recall how it ended. But I was like, okay, they're
yeah.
foreshadowing something by talking about this foot right from the get-go. And the title of the film being Halfway to Crazy, I was like, okay, does she get to 400 to 500 miles? But then I also thought maybe she doesn't think that running 800 miles and setting an FAT is crazy at all. And so maybe
Right,
that's why it's just
right.
halfway to crazy.
Yeah. Most likely. Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
But I
exactly.
love, I really appreciated again the lack of overproduction, the lack
Mhm.
of like cinematic
Yeah.
explosions and fires, let's say, and
Oh yeah.
it focused on the process, it focused on the story, it focused on the injury, it focused on the human and the
Yeah.
emotion
Yeah.
piece of it
Yeah.
all, which is a draw for the audience and for the
It
viewer.
is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just because that's what I like. I do like a lot bit about that, because I mean that's when you see, when I've seen other trail running, films, or little documentaries and stuff like that, when they focus on all that from almost step by step. You're right there,
Yeah.
and you just, it sucks me into it, because I'm like, man, you know, and they go through so much. I mean, she went through so much,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to
But
put you
yeah.
on the hot seat before we wrap up this
Okay.
review of the films. You
All
have
right.
six to choose from.
Okay.
Give me your podium. Third place film would be.
Third place film. Oh goodness gracious. Let's see. The third place would be. Oh goodness, it's hard to say. Let's see. I want to say the goodness gracious, the one we talked about. I just say with the little dog. With the little
Okay.
dog. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I can't remember the film's names.
Talk to Frank was the name of the film.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And let's see, I think, you know what, Halfway to Crazy is going to go on the podium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so,
And I,
and
I'm
then
sorry.
your overall winner is
Oh, the overall winner. Oh, goodness gracious. I am going to go with the very first film that we talked about. Yeah.
Callie.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
I don't know that you can go wrong, which is what makes this decision
I hope
hard,
not.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For
And they're very
me,
hard.
they're really hard. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm with you. Talk to Frank
Yes.
is taking the third place podium spot.
Yes.
I'm going to put Callie's movie in second place. And
Okay.
then the winner for me is the We Are Here, We Run Long. And again, it might just be the personal connection that elevated it,
But
but
still, yeah, well, that's
the
remarkable. Yeah.
yeah, the amount of emotion that they got into 8 minutes for me was really the thing that captured me the most.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely, man. Yeah.
Brick, I appreciate you having a conversation with me about the Trail Running Film Festival,
Yes. Well,
films
thank you
that
for
we got to
having me.
watch. Absolutely. I appreciate your
Yeah.
time. Keep
Yeah.
doing your thing, man. Keep cranking out those books. Grab that cup of coffee and get to writing.
Oh, yeah. Off to coffee now and writing.
I'll see ya. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.
For those of you that have been listening and or watching, appreciate you doing so. It really means the world to me. I would love to hear your thoughts on the 6 films from the Trail Running Film Festival, what your podium wound up looking like. These were all excellent films, and I really appreciated the hard work that the athletes put in, but as well as the film crews and the directors and the producers. And thanks to Matthias for putting the Trail Running Film Festival together so that we can enjoy each of these films, even if we couldn't get to a theater. Appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to Fiery Embers, and we'll catch you next time.